Okay, let's start talking about the JSON file, which will be at the heart of everything you do. This JSON file will actually provide the data that powers your Roku channel. So it's very, very important. You'll find this file included with the course materials. Originally downloaded this file from Roku, but had to add things to it to more or less illustrate the different components that should be in this file. This file is a file to power direct publisher specifically. So when you're creating your Roku direct publisher site, this is a file that you could reference as your source. So let's just talk quickly about the tool that we're using here today. We're using a tool called Notepad++, and it's a good tool to download. You can use any code editor you want. But I like Notepad++. All right, so let's jump into the code. If you're familiar with JSON, you'll know that JSON uses a series of brackets, quotes, and commas in order to structure its data. So you're going to want to read up a little bit about JSON, but I'll tell you a few things. You're going to see JSON records always identified by a start curly brace and an end curly brace, and you're going to be able to see, so that's going to be a complete record. You're going to be able to see the fields in a record all separated out with commas, and then you're going to be able to see the individual strings in a record within double quotes. So you are essentially editing a text file that is the database to run your Roku channel. That's what you're doing when you're editing this file. So let's go ahead and jump in. The first thing we have is the provider name. Now the provider name is really the name of your channel. And your channel is going to be identified by things you put into your Roku account. But give this a name that is very, very indicative of what your channel is about. In this case, I just called mine Roku Guru Feed. All right, so that just says that this is the feed for the Roku Guru channel. That was just an example of something you could use, but you will want to use a name that you can recognize. The language, and again, most of you would probably be doing US. If you're not doing English in the US, you're going to want to look up what your language code is. But for this language, English US is the most common, so I would start out with the example for that, and that pertains to most people. Otherwise, you're going to want to look up English, and then you're going to want to look up your country code and find that information. Last updated. Let's talk a little bit about the date formats that are going on in JSON files. So the first part is year, month, day. That's year dash month, day. That is the format you are looking here, so that is what you would want to put every date in. So always put this in the last time you edited or last time you updated. In this year hyphen month hyphen day format. Next thing is T. T is for time, and you can give it a time. In this case, 2:01, and that's 00 plus 0000. I usually put that format at the ending. That's just seconds and microseconds. So go ahead and use a very, very similar format to this. The most important thing is the 2, the 01. Now, know specifically that the important piece of this is really just the last updated date in the beginning. Your time can be any time you choose. But just understand that's the format: year, month, day, and then the time, and then hour, minutes, and then various seconds beyond that. So we're going to have a couple of parts in this channel, in this demo JSON feed that they've given us from Roku. So I want to kind of go over that, and I'm going to go over that in the next section, which is the the different videos that you will be finding in this data file.